So we're back on the Celica again. We fitted the coilovers a couple of months ago, so they've had a good while to settle. So I'm going to check them all now, see what just make sure everything's level basically. I know the fronts are a little bit higher and they're a little bit uneven as well, so I'm just going to level those out. And yeah, it'll just be adjusting the coilovers very slightly, but still showing everyone how to adjust coilovers. So first step, jack the car up, take the wheel off. So with the wheel off, you can see I've just taken the jacket off as well. Well, I'm going to take the jacket off, opened it up. You've got the lock and collar at the bottom and two at the top. These two are just to adjust the spring tension, preload type thing. They won't adjust the height. The height is all done off the bottom one. So you would loosen this off and then rotate the whole shock, either up or down, to pull, well, up or down meaning if you rotate it that way, that pushes the hub down, which obviously raises the car. Or if you rotate it inwards, that pulls the whole hub up, which lowers the car. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So to get these off, your coilovers should come with these, which coilover spanners, or you can buy them secondhand, or if they don't, then another thing you can do is use a screwdriver, a bit like a punch, to catch one of these little ridges. I don't like doing it that way, because there is a tendency that if these are cheap and shitty like these are, you're going to start snapping bits off, and there's only so many times you can do it. But in a pinch, it will get you out of a situation. So preferably use these. If not, then it is what it is. So I don't know if I'll do this one-handed, but you've got to latch that into one of the notches, get it lined up. This is left-handed and through a camera lens, not good. Right, brilliant. Okay, just don't suck and this will be a lot easier. And then, yeah, there you go. That'll crack it off. Once it's cracked off, should spin freely if your threads are clean, which is why these are a godsend. Yeah, once you've got this up and out of the way, you can then grab the whole shock, move that way up out of the way, grab the whole shock and rotate it like that, and that will pull the hub up, or if you rotate it the other way, it'll push the hub down. So that will raise or lower your suspension. So this, I tend to use the locking collar as a bit of a marking gauge to see how far up or down you want to go. So what I tend to do is use the bodywork when it's on the ground, use something to measure the gap between two solid points, so the bottom of the wheel, let's say the lip of the wheel, and the edge of the arch. Then you'll know roughly how much you need to adjust this by. So in this case, this one's, like I said, these two fronts are slightly uneven. This is going to go down about 15 mil. The other side's going to go, no, this side's going to go 20 mil, the other side's going to go 15 mil, and the backs are going to go about 10 mil each. So I will not bore you with all of that. This is only going to be a quick video, but yeah, that is what it is basically. Just loosen that off, turn the shock. Once you've got it to where you want, and this is back seated again, just for continuity's sake, spanners in the opposite direction, twist it around to tighten it up, and then once it's tight, that won't move anymore. Jobs are good. So this is another little trick I use. When you've got this to roughly where you want it, just grab a big piece of tape, tape it to the shock. When you're moving this is going to want to move, so just make sure it doesn't. Tape it down. Use, if you want to measure it properly, actually measure the gaps and stuff, then that's fine. But as long as this doesn't move, you've got a fixed point of reference, and then you can wind the coilover to where it needs to be. Once that's seated up, nip it tight, and then yeah, you're good to go. So as long as you know roughly what gap you want, just stops that from moving too much, or at all, hopefully. Also is worth a mention, if you don't take wheels off very often, or even if you do, whenever you take them off, you won't get a better opportunity to just cast your eyes over the threads, or treads rather. Make sure they're all up to code, there's no scratches, no gouges out of them, nothing stuck in them. Just give them a little once over, save yourself a headache. Trim your damn tails, kids. Right, pretty much done. All the wheels are tightened, I hope. Fitment stick, as always. Just notched up to that line. Made sure it's roughly level as it needs to be. all the way around. And yeah, that's about as much as it needs to be. It's not heaps lower, but it's level and it's a daily driver, so I don't want to bounce off speed bumps. So yeah, cool, job done, should be good. Look at this fucking thief. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, 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 hey.